Are we live?
Okay, are we live? I think we're live. So, hey, everybody. I'm Amanda Justice. And Pam, are you here? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I was just checking whether or not we were in fact live.
Yes, we are in fact live. Okay, cool.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Great start.
Yeah. Okay. That's the kind of professional operation that we run around here, isn't it, Pam?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. We won't mention this was supposed to start half an hour earlier because somebody, and I won't name any names, may have to hand back their scheduling crown because I double booked.
Ouch. Ouch. And for your own session too, no less.
Well, at least I didn't do it to anybody else. I mean, if you're going to do it to yourself, right?
Exactly. That's right. So, but fortunately, it all worked out. We're here, aren't we? We're gonna announce the awards for the short story competition, the best worst lines competition, and the cosplay competition. So, we think, yeah, that we're not really sure about that because I don't think I've actually received those pictures yet.
Well, we'll play it by ear and keep an eye on Discord and perhaps hope that they pop up to us at some point.
Right, and if if they don't come through, then what we will do is we'll post them on the website, QuaranCon2020.com, and you can go check them out yourself later. So
absolutely.
Cool. So
okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. So our contest, so we're focusing primarily on short fiction and then we're going to get to best worst lines. First of all, we just want to really thank our judges because, they've kind of been in the background reading everything, calculating all the results and feeding them into us and stuff. So we really appreciate their time. Should be seeing their websites and social media coming up in the chat on YouTube. But I would like to thank SM Hardy, Dixon Rule and Halla Williams for the best worst lines. And short fiction, David Green, SM Hardy again, so she gets double kudos, Lynn Kempner and Damien Larkin. So thank you very much to all of them for doing the judges. And if you'd like to find out more about how fabulous these people are, as I say, you'll have their details in the chat.
Right.
Amanda, do you want to tell us a little bit? Sorry?
I just want to interject. We could not have done the competitions without them and without all their hard work and effort into putting the reading everything and judging it and helping us get everything scored on time. So thank you guys.
Yeah. And a lot of them were also doing panels and moderating and readings and everything else. So it's a powerhouse of work that they've done and we really appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Amanda, do you want to give us a brief overview of just what short fiction was? And then we can talk a little bit about how we designed the rubric for judging for that.
So the short fiction competition was obviously a speculative fiction. There was a limit of 2,000 words. We did actually have a really great entry that was a fantastic story, but we had to disqualify it because it didn't meet that word count limit. And as one of the judges put it, it takes a lot of effort to make sure that you cut your story or you cut it down so that you meet the requirements when you submit a contest. And it wouldn't have been fair if we had permitted that story to travel through when it violated those rules and everyone else met them. So. Yeah.
But we did love it. It was a great story. It just, we couldn't accept it. So, but,
exactly. So I think the moral is if you're entering a competition, it's always a good idea to make sure that your story ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
And what else? Oh, the theme of the competition this year was invention. And so we were looking particularly for stories that had something to do with invention, but we were very, very loose on those criteria. So
we were, yeah. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about the rubric. We just thought, Amanda and I thought that might kind of help you a little bit if you were thinking about, what goes into a short story, how do you build one, what is a winning competition likely to look like? So this is something that, again, Amanda and I came up with as part of the rubric. We did look at other contests and things, so we didn't just go, we're the only ones that know this, and make up a whole lot of stuff. We did base it on, a lot of background knowledge and things about it. So we looked at 5 criteria, one which was writing quality, 2, character development, 3, story development and plot, 4, impact and ending, and then 5 is a kind of overall impression of that. So what do we mean, Amanda, by writing quality?
I think that meant just how well the words fit together and how compelling they become as a unit. So it's a combination of grammar and basic grammar and spelling and everything being correct, but also like having the prose like really sing it is the way I like to describe it.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously kind of, you know, the readability as well. There's kind of, you don't want to, especially in a short story, you don't want to be jarred, because if you've only got a few thousand words to work with, it's something kind of just, oh, you know, that really stands out in a short story. So you have to kind of, as you said, construct those sentences even more carefully to make that work within such a small space. So that was something that obviously we were really looking for, as well as, say, the grammar, punctuation, whether you have your end dashes in the right place or not.
Don't start that argument. Pam and I have an ongoing across the pond argument about how not how. I think we agree on when.
Oh yeah, we agree on when to use them.
But I am, of course, correct in that it is an M dash, not an N dash, and there are no spaces.
There are spaces and it's an N dash, but you know, we'll let her have her moment. It's fine. Okay, so character development, thinking about whether characters are believable. Do they make us feel something? We don't have to like them. We did agree that liking them wasn't really a requirement at all, but did they prompt an emotion of some kind? You know, did we resonate with them? I mean, it's okay if we hated them, you know, like, oh, that person, you know, but we wanted to sort of know that. Character motivation, though, we felt was less important, didn't we, within the short story?
Yeah, I think it just all fell into the believability and how compelling the characters came down to. So I don't know that motivation needed to be. I don't really know if that was a factor that I fully considered.
Yeah, I think we kind of didn't, because, you know, I think short stories have a bit more flexibility for ambiguity as well, and kind of leaving you with a you know, and sort of running around your head for a bit. So we felt that characters needed to be, as they always do, believable and emotive, but not necessarily, you know, their motivations completely clear. Exactly. Story development and plot. Because our theme was loosely invention, we said cliches and overused tropes were kind of a no for us on this. You know, you can't write a short story about invention and just regurgitate something. So we were quite strict on that, weren't we?
Yeah.
And we liked unpredictability, and I think we got quite a lot of that in our stories this year. Would you agree?
I'm sorry, could you say again?
Oh, sorry, the accent went.
I went to another place for a second. So.
Just a wee bit zen there. That's nice. So yeah, sorry, that we felt that you know, that unpredictability, you know, was something that we were quite looking for. You know, we didn't want the tropes, and I think we did get quite a lot of really different stories this year. Would you agree?
Yeah, we did. We got a huge range of themes and approaches, and I think originality really was something that we were looking for. So not just the you know, a knight goes to fight a dragon kind of thing, and we got like across the board every type of fantasy story that you can imagine. So
yeah, it was amazingly different, actually. So, and then 4, we talked about impact and ending. So was there resolution of some kind, although it didn't have to be, I suppose, about the character themselves, but so much that, you know, that moment in time was captured. So I think in that case, that's what we mean about resolution here.
I think also for me, because this one was really important for me personally, because I read a lot of short stories that are in different contests and so forth. And there's a difference between a short story and an anecdote. An anecdote is, you know, hey, I went to the store and I ran into this guy and he, you know, and he like tripped me in the aisle and we had a fight and then I went home. It's like,
yeah. Yeah, that definitely is an anecdote.
But a short story has to have some sort of epiphany for the main character, or some sort of dramatic change in circumstances or shift in perspective, or there's got to be something that happens that creates an ending that has some kind of an impact or resolves some sort of situation or problem. It doesn't have to resolve it completely. It can still be an ambiguous ending, but it does need to relieve the reader with a sense of conclusion. So that's my feeling.
Yeah, and yeah, we very much said that it didn't mean that the end couldn't be cryptic, or that the reader couldn't go, oh, what does that mean to me? Of course, any writing can have that.
Right, exactly.
But it was the impression that that moment had been concluded, that there was something you could say, here, that's the point. And yeah, because it's a short story as well, and every word should carry its weight, the last word should be that as well. And then, of course, our overall impression, basically, did we enjoy the story? Did you admire it? Beyond the technicalities, which were kind of separately addressed, did it grab you? And this was more qualitative than quantitative, isn't it? And just, when you finished it, how did you feel about it? And that's a difficult thing. And I'm sure that's probably the one that people hummed and hawed over.
Yeah.
Is how do you like it? And it's very subjective. But with any kind of creative work, we don't want to break it down entirely to its punctuation, grammar. There has to be that element of, did it just resonate with you? Did you just love it? And that has to be included. So we've got this rubric with the 5 points. If anybody would like us to share it, just to kind of see where we came from with it, then we're more than happy to share that. So you can let us know in the comments if that's something that you would like us to make available, and we can certainly do that. Okay.
So the announcements of who the winners are?
Yes.
So before I actually announce the winners, I want to share the cover. The winners the top 3 stories will be included in an anthology, and I'm going to try to share my screen here, and hopefully that will work.
Yeah, the last year's 3 winners will also be part of that anthology, and we've got the names on the front, but obviously the people who win this year will be added onto that as well. And isn't that absolutely gorgeous right there?
Yep. Yeah. So this is beautiful. Virginia designed this herself, I believe. Is that right?
She did. Yep. Virginia McLean. Yes, she absolutely did.
So this is absolutely gorgeous. And I'll just point out, you will see my name there because I actually won this competition last year.
Bex.
So
no, it wasn't. Amanda wasn't judging last year, to be fair, so she did not vote for herself. I promise you, it was all done properly.
I did not organize the competition last year, but actually, that's one reason why I wanted to be involved as an organizer. And I will add, neither Pam nor I had anything to do with the judging either of our literature competitions today. So anyway, that's a gorgeous cover. As Pam said, today's top 3 people will have their names added to this cover, and we're super excited to announce the winners are. So
yeah, and the winner also, this very top winner, gets the book bundle.
Yes. Oh, thank you for mentioning. That's right. So there is a lot of the authors participating in the con have donated books for a book bundle as a prize, as one of the prizes, and the winning author will get that as well. The winning author, I will also be reading the winning story shortly. But first,
we take the is that still on the screen? I think, Amanda, can you?
It's still on the screen. Okay, yeah, let me stop my share. So let me see.
Just before we continue.
Okay, all right, I'm back. All right.
Is it off?
I think
I have no idea.
Off, right?
Yeah, okay. I think so.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay.
We're having technical difficulties.
So it's called brain difficulties because the user error. Okay, drum roll. The second runner-up, meaning the number 3 story, is Wrangling Twisters by Laura R. Shank. So congratulations, Laura.
Congratulations.
Number 2, second place is awarded to Job Security in an Apocalypse by Anila Dean. So congratulations, Anila. Second place.
Congratulations.
And the winner.
Our top prize winner getting a beautiful book bundle and bragging rights.
Exactly, bragging rights. Reboot by Liam Hogan. So congratulations, Liam.
Well done, Liam.
And as part of your prize, you get the pleasure of hearing me read your story aloud. So I hope you all enjoy this. I really enjoyed it. It's very, it fits the theme really, really well. So the story is called Reboot.
Okay, I'm just going to go blank screen while you do this so I don't feel like I have to do the contemporary dance thing we talked about.
Oh, but Pam, that is one of the absolute, oh well, it's okay.
I'm not doing it.
You'll just have to watch me.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, go.
The end of the world began on Thursday, the 8th of October, 2026. A simple mutation in the virus that Singularity AIs used to lay down their biopathways. With frightening efficiency, it attacked all brain cells, genetically modified or not. By Friday afternoon, half a dozen bunker-dwelling survivalists were all that remained of the human race. Of them, only I was properly prepared for the end of the world. Only I had built a time machine. I built it expressly for this purpose, for this Armageddon scenario. It was far too dangerous to use except when all was lost. But when all was lost, it was our last, our only hope. I went back to 2021 to fix it. A change to the chemistry the pioneering bioengineers had used just before the singularity rendered any further human innovation redundant. A change that meant the virus would never make the fateful and fatal leap from the lab to the rest of the world. When I returned, the bunker's automatic lights flickered on, and an air of abandonment greeted me, which was, as I expected, as I'd hoped it would be, my shelter made unnecessary by my heroic actions. Eagerly, I checked the data feed to confirm my manipulation had been successful. The world had ended on the 25th of September, 2022. The final upgrade to the Large Hadron Collider at CERN breached some arcane physical constraint between this universe and the next. The resultant storm of dark matter annihilations had torn away the Earth's protective atmosphere. I returned 5 years earlier and released a hungry beach martin into the LHC workings. Regrettably, the resultant outage would mean that the full potential of the collider would never be realized, but at least the Earth would be safe. Back in my bunker, I once again checked the feeds. The world had ended on the 23rd of February, 2020. A communications error during the heat of post-Brexit talks, nerves rattled by the outbreak of the coronavirus, then only just being seen for the worldwide pandemic it would become. The UK unleashed its aging Trident nuclear deterrent on the major European capitals, Brussels first and foremost, triggering an instantaneous Dr. Strangelove retaliation from both Russia and China, followed by a slightly more jittery but no less deadly response from the US, not wanting to be left out during an election year. I thought about traveling to June 2016, a week before the Brexit vote, to meddle with the results and maybe stick around to influence the US presidential race at the same time. But when I read up on the newly written history, too much of it was now unfamiliar to me. It wasn't clear how a single rational man could swing the referendum in the direction of a peacekeeping, border-ignoring Remain, or indeed, to tweak the US election toward a less paranoid democratic future. So I went back further, much further. A mislaid procurement document during the chaotic events at the fall of Berlin. This weakened the Russians and strengthened ties between England and France, with a useful side effect that the US would never stop being great. The world ended on the 16th of July, 1945. A stack of faded newspapers, the headlines getting larger and larger before the news abruptly stopped, told me how the Trinity test in New Mexico had far exceeded the scientists' predictions. The first and only nuclear explosion had blown a neat circular hole in the Earth's thin mantle. That might not have been so bad, but a seismic ripple along the length of the Rocky Mountains had unzipped the Yellowstone supervolcano, releasing 1 million years worth of magma, all in one short apocalyptic day. I thought of Oppenheimer's "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds," and alone and bereft, I wept. I did not pause to wonder how it was that my bunker was still here, built in 2022, and dependent on post-singularity technology, technology that would now never be invented. Kondrat's conjecture said that it would be impossible to return to a future from which I could not have traveled, and in my serially traumatized state, this I latched onto and blindly accepted. Scratching my thinning hair, I spotted an opportunity a century earlier. Perhaps I was becoming gung-ho, but it seemed the unsinking of the Titanic was the simplest solution to our problem. The world ended because World War I didn't, rumbling on for 3 arduous decades of chemical and biological warfare. The very lands that were being fought over rendered permanently infertile, the toxins ignoring the contested borders and spreading throughout the whole continent and beyond. And so it went. The world ended in the 14th century, when the Black Death achieved a 95% mortality rate. The world ended when the Holy Roman Empire became fascinated by quicksilver aphrodisiacs. The world ended when mankind's out-of-Africa population bottleneck, the same one that meant our genetic diversity wasn't enough to cope with either the Black Death or the singularity virus, when this bottleneck led not to vigorous regrowth, but instead to slow extinction. Neanderthals got an extra millennia or so, but still faded away, and this time nobody replaced them. The world ended before it had even begun, the dinosaur-killing asteroid merely grazing the atmosphere. The dinosaurs themselves died out in the climactic changes that followed the breakup of the Pangean supercontinent, but mammals never even got a look in. I went back further still, to the very limits of my device, armed this time with a large sledgehammer. Somewhere in the late Proterozoic, I slowly, methodically, and absolutely irreversibly smashed my time machine, piece by fragile piece, into 1 million shattered fragments. The world ended. And that was the end. So that was our winning story. Again, congratulations, Liam Hogan. And it was a great story. I think we all enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I love it. I love it. I just think it's so clever, and sort of all the sort of different sort of histories and just going further. Yeah, I think it's a great story. So I think it's a very worthy winner. As I've just posted in the chat, you know, we had really high quality entries, and choosing was not easy, I think, for the judges. And yeah, so, but yeah, a very worthy winner. And thank you for such a beautiful reading, Amanda. Lovely as always. Okay, so yeah, so top 3 in the entire, let's try that again. Top 3 in the anthology, along with last year's top 3, and the winner will also get a book bundle, and we'll be in touch about getting that to you. Okay, so we're moving on then, and we're going to look at the reading of the best worst lines. Okay, so what we're going to do is Amanda and I are going to take turns to read basically. Oh, are we okay?
No, I was just thinking we should explain what the heck this contest was.
Well, yeah, I'm getting there.
Oh,
Don't
sorry.
rush me. Who's rushing me? Yes, so absolutely, you're right. We should explain it. So essentially, the best worst lines is the opening lines of a book or a story that you would really, in reality, never actually do. We wanted them to be a single sentence, up to 200 words long. That was a maximum. If it was shorter, great. Nobody tried to do one, which was good because we felt that might have been a tad.
I probably wouldn't have done well in the.
No, it wouldn't have. And as Amanda said when she made up part of the rules here, our condolences if you've already a novel attached to your best worst line, which I hope nobody sent us their actual novel. But yes, so had to be in English, had to be an unpublished work of speculative fiction, and really just something that was very purple, very kind of ostentatious, and hopefully ridiculous to make us groan or laugh or both.
We also want to acknowledge that we based this competition, or our inspiration came from the Bulwer-Lytton competition, which is an annual competition for terrible lines of terrible first lines of terrible novels. And you should check out the Bulwer-Lytton competition. And it's www.bulwer-lytton.com. And that competition is still open for entries, I think, until the end of April. So maybe we'll stick this this in the chat too. So
yes.
This link in the chat as well.
I can do that just now. Hang on one second. Oops.
Thank you. So yeah.
Can I do that? I can do that.
We could ask our trusty assistant.
I don't think that Miracle has that to hand, but hang on, I've got it here.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, behind the scenes, I just want to announce that ML Wang is providing our special trusty assistance, tech assistance, and she's brilliant, absolutely brilliant writer, and everyone should get her novel if you haven't already read it. So
yes, and she was winner of Spiffbo last year. So
yes, she was. She was.
Okay. Right, so we're going to read these out. So we're obviously not going to read our top three because I'm going to read those out in a little minute, at which point our special guest should be with us. We're very excited. Yes. They have been in the salon all morning getting their hair washed and looking all pretty. They're in the green room with their rider of hay and various other things. So we hope that they are in the mood to, haven't overeaten because they have a special task to perform for us here.
They do.
But we're hoping they'll be with us very soon. In the meantime, we are just going to read out the other entries. We're going to take turns in doing that.
Yep.
And then we'll get to our top three. Okay, Amanda, do you want to kick us off with the first one?
All right, I'm going to kick you off. Not kick you off.
Rude.
That would be terrible. And really difficult considering you're in Scotland and I'm in New York. So, okay. Wonders of technology. Okay, here we go. First one. These are not the winners, but they are all terrific. So, The Night Road is Fast is a 1967 L88 Corvette convertible with a jacked up engine.
I just love the fact that's the thing, like people put things in novels that don't work with their time period, and I just love that it's something that you would think of, but yeah, it doesn't work at all. Okay, after breaking left hip, managed to roll over my own toes in my wheelchair. Talk about bad luck.
That is bad luck.
It's very bad luck indeed. Okay, next.
Okay, here's a lengthy one that probably pushed up against our word limit. She leaned against me and chugged the rest of my beer, the amber-colored liquid dripping from her Botoxed lips, then trickling between the thirsty, heaving lumps on her chest that were straining to escape a pink, frilly push-up bra under a thin tube top. They looked like those fancy cheese balls covered in nuts. And when she finished, she belched and chucked the bottle into the roaring trash can bonfire as the flames danced to the rhythm of her favorite Kenny Chesney song, blaring from the truck radio. She was my kind of gal. That's going to be quite the novel that follows that, I think.
Yeah, definitely written by not a woman. I'm gonna say,
or pretending to be written by not a woman.
Yeah. The thing is, there's quite a lot of things that you see like that are in no way supposed to be jokey, which is you know, like the favorite one was that one a few years ago. It was like, you know, it's when she swayed boobily across the room or something.
Yes.
It's like, what?
And any time that the boobies express emotions themselves is always entertaining. So
yes, it's a looking chipper.
Yes.
Or something. Yeah, it's like nothing nicer when you're going out and feeling you've got a chipper boob. I often feel that way walking down the street.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4. 'Twas my last halfpenny I used to purchase the lottery chit, and all I want. Hello. was the pink fairy armadillo. Hello, Eli.
All right.
Sorry, that I kind of ruined that one there by being surprised halfway through.
There is nothing like a cat parrot on your shoulder.
And this is nothing like a cat parrot on my shoulder. Sorry, please continue.
Okay, sorry. It was with great sadness that I announce. He spoke into the microphone, wondering how long it would take the audience to realize that it was all he was going to say, because he utterly hated his job, hated announcing, and this was his coming out.
Oh dear. I almost actually want that one to continue because I kind of want to know what happens next. Okay, it was, or it wasn't, depending on how you looked at it, the worst day, by which I mean roughly a 12-hour period of sunlight, assuming you didn't live too far from the equator, of his life, which would have seemed ironic to him if A, he had known what ironic meant, B, he wasn't so busy having the worst day, and C, there was even a way to measure the ironic value of things in comparison to other things, both ironic and otherwise. So yeah, it was bad.
I like that one.
So do I. I think that one, as I recall, you know, was a reasonably good top contender. So yeah, I do like that one. It's a sort of rambling sort of inner monologue that you would kind of have, and then
it's kind of Jamesian in a little bit. So
yeah, strikes me as a first draft that you would probably have, and then edit half of that out. Okay.
Or not.
Or not in this case, or yes, or enjoy the rambling prose. Amanda.
Okay. Oh, here, this one harkens back to the classic Bulwer-Lytton line.
It does. Snoopy would be pleased.
Mm-hmm. It was a dark and stormy night when I suddenly woke up and excitedly looked in the mirror, wantonly savoring how my boobies marvelously jiggled. There's another jiggling boob one, so...
I think there's been so many of those serious ones that it would seem wrong not to have a nod to it today.
Exactly, yes.
Okay. It was the winter of my years, or so I was reminded constantly by my aggrieved mother and younger sister. Truly, is one considered younger when only 2 years the junior of a woman considered to be in the winter of her years? And let us not forget half the town, or at least the half that actually cared what sort of future I might lead. And I despaired, though that word might be overly melodramatic, and Lord knows I hate behaviour that smacks too much of drama, of ever finding, which implies actual prior effort on my part, the warm enveloping arms of a genuine mink coat.
You just don't know where that one's going to end up, do you?
No, it's the mink coat at the end. It's just like, yes. Not that we are advocating in any way the wearing of animal skin or such like.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
Maybe that's Maybe that's the point.
Well, that's true, yes.
That's why this is a terrible first line. All right. So I was in this tent bar like 8,000 years ago, and I was smoking hash with this weird guy that I hadn't pegged as a time traveler yet, and he kept getting mad because I kept beating him at snakes and ladders. And then there were a bunch of flashes of light, and the next thing you know, I'm sitting at this bar down the road eating a chicken leg of all things.
Which came first, though?
Ah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I said chicken leg, didn't I? But it actually said egg. I think I did. Did I say egg or leg? Well, either one works. But a chicken egg actually does. No, that actually clinches it. That makes it funny. Oh, sorry to the author of that that I screwed up your first one. I screwed up the punchline. I am busily checking my email to make sure that our goat guest is coming. We have 5 more minutes. 5 minutes.
We do. We've still got a few more of these to go, so we should be around about the right time.
Yep.
Okay, Space Emperor Musk turned on his floating phone and was greeted by the sight of a female space bear holding a large alien fish. This was promising to be a problematic day for the Space Emperor, who already had a headache. Do you know, that just like, for me, I'm just picturing Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Oh dear, that's a good one, that one. Okay.
All right. Gentlemen, as you all know, with the Super Hater Drive 5000, we can go a lot faster through space than we can with our traditional Martian coal-powered spaceships. But I'm here to tell you that all that we've had a major breakthrough with harnessing power of hippie hate. And with the Super Hater Drive 6000, we can now use the power of hippie hate to go faster than the speed of imaginary time. If only we can get these stupid hippies to hate our evil ways just a little bit more.
Oh dear.
Maybe that's been the goal of certain politicians all along.
Oh, controversial, but probably true. Okay. There was once a time when telling stories like these was a simple matter, a matter one would take up lightly and without a thought or utterance or perturbance or anything of the sort, but they're telling it until the entire story and all stories like it changed to something entirely different and in more need of such rambling preambles as this, you see. I still really like that one. Right, sorry. Just,
400.
I can see this descending into a farce, and I'm getting redder and redder as I'm trying not to actually laugh and get through these. I'm sorry. Amanda.
438.5 seconds exactly to 1 decimal point. They were very precise about such numbers ever since the, quote, no decimal point incident, unquote, of 1999. And fisticuffs broke out over that one, or would have if they'd had hands. The worms took the 1 meter dash very seriously. Again, that one we didn't know where it was going until we got there.
Nowhere. Thank you. Or very, very slowly at the very least. Okay, I'm feeling that this one is a bit of a homage to a song that was released quite recently, I think first via TikTok and then kind of took off from there. There once was a ship that set to sea, and the name of the ship was This Story You See. And the story hadn't had anything to do with old sea shanties, but it did have a lot to do with you and me. In the past tense, when we haven't really begun with the story at all, but that will work itself out and become more clear as things go on.
That was crystal clear.
Yeah, I was reading it and I still don't quite know where I was going with it. Okay. Oh dear. Okay, next.
Oh, Debbie, he said in that sardonic manner he had that was beyond annoying to just about everyone who had the misfortune to know him, excepting, of course, Maria, who was, after all, obliged to forgive his many idiosyncrasies, notwithstanding her time in the Algerian mafia, where she learned how it felt to live without a uvula.
that wee dangly thing at the back of your throat.
Yeah. You're sitting there going, do I know what that is?
Yeah, I think that's what that is.
I think you're right.
Okay. Lieutenant Thunderloaf scratched her tentacle with her other tentacle and briefly wondered what it was the two-legged animals on the other side of the glass were digging for when one of them defecated into the hole instead of the laser waste zapper she'd been training them to use.
That is just totally bizarre.
Yeah. Oh dear, that's good. Okay.
Okay.
Next.
Next, Vera stared at herself sitting opposite, only closing her mouth when a large droplet of drool fell on her hand, while Alice sported a similar expression, sans drool, and Vera couldn't help thinking how Alice always had to one-up her, even in such a minute way as to not dribble down her own front, despite the mocking comment of, "You invent a time machine?" Now utterly defunct. There's a lot of conflict in that one.
Yeah, it's meaty.
Yes.
Okay, the Eldritch gods were so old it would blow your mind to think about how old they were. And if you looked at one, you'd get taken apart until you existed forever, but not as you, but rather a babbling static that was just sort of aware of maybe having been you. And they were also so old that they didn't care about anything but staring at the TV and chewing tapioca pudding and gumming their own cheeks while they thought old ancient elder god thoughts and just kind of smelled weird.
I sort of like the concept there of a retirement home for gods. So
yeah.
Yes. Tapioca pudding.
And smelling weird, apparently.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God, you actually weigh a lot after a wild cat. Right, sorry.
Okay.
Go for it. Our goat should be due any second, so let's get these last two done.
Yes, yes. Okay, so if you want to try imagining a dragon flying, just imagine a crocodile swimming without water, and the crocodile has wings.
I reckon that's actually quite a valid description.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another homage here to Bulwen Lytton, rather. It was a dark and stormy night as King Elderfwep cast a cold eye across his barren land, a land that was once as fruitful as a pregnant sow gorging on scraps of apple and oranges and grapes before moving on to a smorgasbord of blackberries and grapefruit wedges, although like the sow, King Elderfwep had never cared much for grapefruit, which interfered with the melancholia mitigated tincture his alchemist prepared to help him cope with the barrenness of his once fruitful land, not to mention too sour, he thought. I like that one too. Okay, right. We are now ready to announce our top three. Okay, best worst lines. The winner will get the Golden Turd Trophy inscribed and sent to you for placing on your mantelpiece, should you have a mantelpiece, or just, you know, on a pedestal in the middle of your living room, which I personally would be my choice. And you will also get a book bundle. Is the goat here? We don't know. You also get a book bundle, and of course, again, bragging rights for having the best worst line. Okay, where are we with the goat?
I don't know. They have not emailed me to say that they're late or anything. So keeping an eagle eye on that. So hopefully the goat will be showing up soon. And if the goat doesn't show up,
then Amanda will eat the best worst winning line.
So, tech question, do I have to let the goat into the Zoom chat?
You do.
You do need to let the goat into the Zoom
I
chat.
have not seen anyone attempt to enter the Zoom chat, but I'm watching.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. They haven't.
Okay, well, I'm going to read the winners, and then hopefully by the time I get to our grand prize winner, the goat will be here ready to eat it, as frankly it deserves to be.
Yes, and as advertised. So
yes,
we'll be disappointed if we don't get a goat.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of disappointed folk, to be honest. Is, you know, all I've seen on Twitter all morning is goat, and that's general excitement. Okay, so in reverse order, our second runner-up by S.A. Tree. It was a place where the seas are silver and the sky is a colour you've never seen. And the people don't look like people because they look like wind and dust and jellyfish, like floating dusty jellyfish in the wind. And they were communicated with lasers, and most of what they said was stuff we couldn't understand, even if we could read alien laser language. But the one thing we could understand is this story they keep telling over and over, and that story is the one I'm about to tell you now. That's really good. I like the wind and dust and jellyfish and floating like dusty jellyfish in the wind. It's great. So congratulations, S.A. Tree, for your second runner-up. In runner-up position, number 2, is Clayton Snyder. It was 10 o'clock when Seamus O'Neill decided to murder someone with a croquet mallet, and 10:01 when he used a can of Campbell's good, he thought, as the can smacked into Bob's skull with a sound like an egg in a sack of Jelly Deal's tomato soup instead. No, it's like, good. I love that. I think it's great. Okay, and our grand prize winner, which I'm hoping is going to be eaten shortly, is Alan Batchelder. Congratulations, Alan. And this is our winner, quite convincingly. Zafir, the grand guru of perlumbery, sat cross-legged on a carpet of shattered dreams, flexing his oh-so-voluptuous thighs, which smelt of cinnamon and nihilism. A surprise, given his ownership of a parrot named Spartacus. It's the parrot. Sorry.
That's another one.
I absolutely love that line. It's just so good. Okay, while we are waiting for our goat, Amanda, do you want to share the turd trophy?
Yeah, okay. Actually, I don't know if I have that one. I have to get that one open. So give me a second.
Okay.
Maybe you can do your interpretive dance while I look for the turd trophy. Oh, here it is.
Oh, screen froze. No, it didn't. I'm not interpretive dancing. Okay. I thought that was the best way to fob you off from the contemporary dance idea, but
no. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen again for now. I found the turd trophy. So, Alan, la la, that was terrible. I tried to do a song, but it didn't come out right. Anyway, Alan, you have won this lovely trophy. And I don't know, will his name appear here in the
his absolutely will, yes. His name will appear there. It will be professionally inscribed and sent to him in the post, as I say, to be put on that pedestal in his living room.
Excellent. What more could you ask? This is
the fly's a nice touch.
The honor is yours, Alan. So that is quite. And I'll throw in a plug. Alan is an author of the Immortal Treachery series, so you can check that out too. All right, I have not received an email from our goat friends, so
for shame.
Yeah, I'm gonna
the email that's associated with this Zoom, and I don't see that like anybody tried to enter that we didn't know of. So I don't. Here, let me.
Yeah, and you confirmed with them this morning, so I don't know what's going on.
And they sent an email to me confirming.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm laughing too much again. I think mascara was a bad choice.
All right, I have sent the email to.
Wait.
Oh.
Do we have a goat?
Wait a second. Okay.
Hey!
Yay! Look at that goat! Hello! There's so many of them. We have
I thought it was going to be one goat, but there's a plethora of goats.
And we have a special message. We are the goats of Cronkshaw. Hey, Miracle, could you actually spotlight them? I'm not sure how we do that. Can we make them like take over the screen? There we go.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Alan?
There, Alan, there is your winning entry. Oh, and they're so excited to eat it. This is great. This is live, folks. This is live. It's happening right now.
Oh.
Never before. Live YouTube streaming television. A goat is eating the winning entry of the QuaranCon2020.com Best Worst Lines competition. Thank you, goats. And thank you, Cronkshaw Farms. So the goats, if you would like to have a goat appear on your Zoom call, you can go to Cronkshaw Farms, and we're going to post the link in the chat so that people can get it. And Cronkshaw Farms say, nom, 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 it was delicious.
So Alan, well done, congratulations. You will receive a book bundle and you will receive your third trophy. We will also, of course, other people will get, the other winners will also get a share of that book bundle, so don't worry, it's going to come to you. But I think having a go eat your words, I don't have the words to explain how emotional that is. And I'm sure, Alan, if you are here and you are watching, I think you're feeling it too.
I'm just, the Cronkshaw people said it was a long note to write out. It was difficult with hooves. And we responded, it was everything we dreamed it would be. And it doesn't get any better than this.
Looks like they're really kind of still going to town on that, actually.
Are they chewing the cud?
Well, I think in this case it's chewing the crud, but yes. Sorry, that was bad.
Oh, no, that was perfect. Do goats actually chew cud? So I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's kind of a cow thing, maybe.
Cronkshaw Farm says it was delicious literature. And yes, they answered me. They said that it is cud.
And dreams, apparently.
Cud and dreams. Cud and dreams. So.
Nice.
I'm sure Alan feels that way about it. His dreams down the gullet of a goat.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot of their face. Okay, so
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful, beautiful goats. Thank you so much, Cronkshaw.
Thank you so much for sharing your goats with us and for feeding the words. Okay, so I'm just going to close up here while we're admire the goats.
Bye-bye.
Okay, back to Miracle. Can we go back to normal view?
Well, for me, the goats have disappeared.
They have.
Yeah, so now we need
I'm not sure if it'll revert back to normal. We're back to normal.
We're back to normal.
Yeah.
Are we?
No, we're still there.
There we go.
Gallery view. Okay.
Okay.
Now
so listen. Okay, so at the moment we're not going to go ahead and show the cosplay stuff. Apparently there's technical difficulties with that. So Virginia has asked us to say that they will be posted on the website, I think later, and that she will mention them in her closing statements and discuss obviously Mr. J Justice's thoughts on the entrance for that. So we're not going to do cosplay just now. That'll be dealt with at closing statements tonight. Just to say again, thank you for all of our entrants. They've been great, both the short stories and the best worst lines. So funny. I have loved all of them. To say with the winners, we will be in touch within the next week to get your addresses, obviously for physical things that we need to send, your email addresses and whatnot for your ebooks, etc., and other prizes that we have. Thank you to the judges, of course, again. And if you know, start preparing for next year. I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah. Start writing your worst, best lines now.
Yeah,
Get
and you
real
know,
work
they
on
can
it.
only get worse with time, so that's what we want to see. Upcoming events, I think next we've got top-down, bottom-up and inside-out world-building strategies, or super hardcore world-building strategies with MD Presley. Then we have food and fantasy. Amanda is moderating. I believe you have some recipes to share with us as well.
We will have recipes. We'll be talking about all sorts of stuff, how food is used in fantasy as a world building and character development, perhaps talking about our favorite books where food itself is magical, perhaps talking about our recipes from that actually appear in people's books. And we've got some real heavy hitters on that panel, so I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, it sounds great, actually. I'm quite excited about it. And I think, you know, it's something that I don't think I've actually ever seen a panel talk about it before. So
Yeah.
I think this is something that's a wee bit different, which I like. And then I think we are finishing up with our Asian Author Roundtable. JC Kang is our moderator for that, I think. Yes, he is. And then it will be closing. We've got a couple of readings and then closing statements from Virginia on the last day of the con. But it has been absolutely fantastic. I know I've had so much fun this year. And I want to say personally, a thank you to Amanda, to ML Wang, to Virginia, to everybody that's been involved, EL Drayton, to Noor, just with all the work that goes on behind the scenes, which without all of you guys, we just couldn't have this, you know, we couldn't have it. And there's been an awful lot of work, and I'm sure I've forgotten people and will feel horrible the second we come off here that I've forgotten them, but Virginia will catch up on it later. So thank you so much for joining us. Well done again to all of our winners. We will be in touch, and I hope that you will look out for the anthology, and I hope you will buy it and support our authors and QuaranCon. Amanda, is there anything else you want to add?
Nope. QuaranCon2020.com for merch, for books that are on sale, for the
Artist Alley.
Yep. So
okay, and so if anybody does want the rubric for the short stories and stuff, we'll again happily share that, put that in the comments. And it's just to say thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the goat. I do feel somewhat upstaged, to be honest.
I know it was a hard act to follow. It really was.
Yeah, it was, and I washed my hair and everything, and I just feel
I put lipstick on.
You did, and it's beautiful shade. It matches your top. I think well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's really good, really good connecting up there. I like it.
I'm put together today for a change.
Yeah, extremely coordinated. So I felt like one goat I could have maybe competed with, but that was too many.
Full herd.
Full herd.
It was
a cabal of goats.
Thrilling.
It was. Okay, well listen, thank you so much everybody for joining us, and we'll leave it there. Please stay on for our world building panel, our food and fantasy, Asian Author Roundtable readings, and then Virginia to say goodbye. Thanks so much.